Howdy, folks. I'm telling you, this one debate on abortion is the gift that just keeps on giving. Let me show you what we got into this weekend. Here we have this individual who I already told you about them sourcing Numbers 5, 12 through 13, and how ironic that is, first of all, that they're trying to use the Bible to support the murder of children. But anyway, I stated that Numbers 5, 12 through 13 does not, in fact, support abortion. As a matter of fact, it doesn't mention anywhere in that passage a child or a pregnancy at all. So this fellow pops up and says, I'm confused. And by the way, it's at Church of Inquiry is who this guy is, or gal, I don't know. I'm confused. They just don't use the specific word. It's an induced miscarriage, which a priest performs with God's blessing, a husband believing his wife is unfaithful to him so that another man has sexual relations with her, takes her to a priest. Now, this is where it gets interesting, and this is where we're going to have to do probably multiple episodes on this. He cites 6 different translations of the Bible, 2 of which actually have the word miscarry in them, the New International Version and the Common English Bible. Now, the Common English Bible is not particularly one that I have ever used, nor do I think I would. But he posts 6 different translations in parallel. Of the 6, only 2 of them use the word miscarry. So I respond to this individual. And I say, in the original Hebrew, there is no mention of a child being involved. It describes the swelling of beten, which is the Hebrew word, translated as belly, womb, or generically body. Given the description of what happens if she passes the test, the likely meaning is that she will become sterile. Now, this individual responds with, what are your credentials such that we should believe you and not the 15 biblical scholars from a variety of evangelical denominations working from the oldest text in Hebrew, Aramaic, and Greek, who created the NIV and the other Bibles? All right. So we're going to get into this because this question right here is full, chock full of all kinds of mistakes, all kinds of fallacies. The first of which is he's asking for my credentials. My credentials do not matter. I did not start out the explanation with this. I actually finished the explanation in my response with this, but I'm going to take it pretty much in order here. My credentials do not matter. This is the argument to authority fallacy, or argumentum ad verecundium fallacy of logic, which is, I am an expert, therefore what I say is true. Those 2 things are entirely different things. You see, first of all, experts, even though they are experts, even in their particular field, can be wrong. That's the first point. They are not infallible. They are human. The second point, related to that, is that experts in any particular field, being human, can also lie. All right, this is the same fallacy of logic that they use when they say, you have to trust the science. Okay, science with a TM trademark after it. They are not trusting the science. They are trusting the scientists. And in this case, this individual is not referencing the Hebrew itself. They're referencing the biblical scholars. They are referencing the theologians, if they are indeed theologians who were involved in writing the NIV Bible. The next mistake that he makes, one thing that he does do, actually, which is kind of cute. First of all, it looks like he actually went to the description of the NIV Bible, probably online, to get the number of biblical scholars that worked on that particular translation of it. Because if you go to any of the Bible translation websites, like be it the NIV, NASB, King James, New King James, interlinear, whatever version, there's probably going to be a website. And on that website, they are going to tell you about the people who worked on it. They're probably going to tell you about how it was translated, from what sources it was translated, and so forth. And that's something that we're going to get into a little bit later as well. And he also throws in, I know the 3 languages that the Bible was written in: Hebrew, Aramaic, and Greek. See, a lot of people don't know about Aramaic. Most people don't know about all 3 of them. But if you do know about the Hebrew and Greek, there's a good chance you don't know about the Aramaic. There's actually a small portion of the Bible that was written in Aramaic. But this person decided to throw that in there just to show that they know what they're talking about too. So because he was like, well, you Christians actually don't know anything about Christianity or the Bible, but we atheists do. He posted that in an earlier post as well. And then he makes the mistake of saying, who created the NIV and the other Bibles? Well, no, the people who created the NIV did not necessarily have anything to do with any of the other translations of the Bible, the other Bibles, as is proven by this reference again here, where you have 6 different versions that sound 6 different ways. Okay, only, again, 2 of which use the term miscarry. All right, so that's the first issue that I wanted to address. The first issue is one that is frequently used by liberals in a lot of their arguments, and that is the appeal to authority. Just because somebody is authority does not mean that they are A, wrong, or B, lying. Flat out lying, as is the case with the COVID, or as was the case with all of the COVID quote-unquote scientists that were pushing wearing masks all the time. That was certainly not the case. We did not need to wear masks. And those of us who are real scientists and in the healthcare industry knew that from the jump. And that's one of the things that was a red flag for me with the COVID deal when it first started out. At first, I was kind of a little bit concerned, but then they started off with all of this stuff that didn't make sense and was smelling of lies and was certainly not scientific. And then I decided, well, let's look into this a little bit more. Same thing here. Just because you cite an expert does not make what the expert said true. So that is my take on the first mistake of the argument to authority. And we'll cover some more stuff in the next segment. I want to thank you for listening. If you enjoyed what you heard, hit the like and subscribe button, and I will talk to you all later.